Hi, my name is Devdatta Puntambekar. I am founder of Sattvarise Technologies and I am into augmented reality and virtual reality for more than 8 years. We have built more than 40 solutions into AR and VR for our clients, and even we have built 2 products in this space. So Unity was designed as a game engine and it has been primarily used as a game engine to develop games. But later on it evolved as a AR VR development tool as well. 90% of the AR and VR developments happen on Unity and rest of the 10% or so development happens on other platforms. So as a Unity developer, there are a lot of roles and responsibilities that you follow. One of the most important ones is to understanding the domain for the solution that you are building it. For example, for one of our client called Knorr-Bremse, which is into commercial vehicles braking systems, we had to go to the Knorr-Bremse's facility, understand their products and processes so that we could give a better solution and propose a better approach towards VR training for our clients. Since AR and VR is very new for clients as well, it becomes difficult for them to understand how the technology could be used. So it's a crucial role even for a developer or for a CGI artist to understand the domain. So as a Unity developer, you need to design the experience in such a way that the user doesn't feel disconnected from the real world and the interaction and the whole experience is more natural and intuitive. Now another important thing as a Unity developer is to focus on the quality. When I say quality, it means that the whole experience is, let's say, going at a 60 frames per second very smoothly, or you can reduce the size of the overall application so it doesn't lag, and you need to follow the standards and guidelines based on which VR hardware, or whether it's Microsoft HoloLens for AR development or even our Android or iOS mobile phone. We are a startup, so we have a typical startup environment. We don't have fixed timings, but we generally start off very early with a very small stand-up meeting in terms of what we want to do throughout the day. But that's just a 10% part of what we do. So as a developer, you need to develop more, spend more time in debugging the code and ultimately deliver the solution or deliver the module which your team expects. And then in the latter half of the day, you're tired of a development or you want to take a break from those development activities. We try new VR and AR experiences on our headsets and we try to have fun, and we also learn from those experiences, and those experiences goes back of our mind, and maybe some point of time we can use those pointers in our solutions. As a Unity developer, you really need to have a thinking in 3D mindset, because this is not something that we do in our day-to-day life. Even if we have studied during our college days or school days, we are used to pen and paper, but 3D is a different perspective. So that's one. The other one is having core development knowledge or the basic programming skills in C#, because Unity works on C#. The next one is strong mathematical skills. You need strong mathematical skills because there is a 3D space and you need to develop 3D modules which require trigonometry or different aspects of mathematics. And even mathematics is important for developing on physics engine. Yeah, and one of the key aspects of working with Unity is that you need to have interest in games. If you are a gamer for life and you are always inquisitive about how these games are developed, then it's easier for you to learn all the aspects about Unity, AR and VR. So if you have a computer science or an information technology degree, that really helps, because the basics of programming, the data structures, the backend development, those parts you already know. But to become a Unity developer, you need not have these degrees. You can start as a layman. You can just go and log in on a unity.com. There is a section called Learn Unity, or you can directly go to learn.unity.com and you can find there are pathways to become a Unity programmer. The first one is a foundation course, which is about 6 weeks, so which is easier to follow, to understand the know-hows about how Unity editor works, what is Unity and all. And the next one that you can take up is junior Unity programmer course, which is about 12 weeks. So after these 2 courses, ideally you would be job ready for the Unity developer. And then you can take up a VR development course, which is on the Unity platform itself, where you can go in depth about VR development on Unity, and it will be additional qualification for your job role. And there are certifications available for these courses on the Unity. As a career path, I would say Unity is very at a nascent stage in order to define the career paths. But if we go by that way, first is of course you are a junior Unity developer, and your primary role is to develop small modules which are required for a bigger solution for your team. And then as you progress from a junior developer, understanding more about how Unity works, because Unity is very vast. So how Unity works, how the development and publishing works, then within 3 to 5 years or 6 years, you can be a senior Unity developer, where you handle end-to-end development to publishing. And as you become a senior Unity developer, Unity is still evolving. Whether it's a game development, AR, VR, Unity is evolving day by day. So if you really like coding, the development, you will enjoy it even more. And as you grow from that role, you can go into a team leader position or a team lead, where along with the development, you plan what the other developers will work on. And right from not just only Unity developers, but what your experienced designers, CGI artists, what they will work upon. So the work of a team lead is more holistic in developing a particular solution. So as a compensation, if you compare it 6-7 years earlier, it was very less, but the times are exciting now. With the metas of the world, the Unity development is very high in demand. The demand is more than the supply. So if you are really good in this field, even as an entry point, you can expect between 3 lakh to 10 lakh. And as a senior Unity developer, you can expect really from 20 lakh to 30 lakh in a city like Pune, which is much higher in terms of what other developers can get for their typical roles. And because of this work from home environment, you can even work for a US based or Europe based agency and earn in dollars, which would be of course higher than this amount. If I were a 20-year-old, then what I would do, the first thing is that go on internet and learn Unity on my own. As I said, there are a lot of resources available on Unity itself, Unity website itself, and there are n number of YouTube courses available for Unity programming. So that I would definitely do. The other thing that I would do is, based on these courses, develop my own projects and publish them. whether it's a game in Unity or an AR app or a VR app, I would publish it and show it to the world. And the third thing that I would do is I would take an internship in a company for 6 months to 12-month period and understand how the domain works, how the business works, and how to work in a team and develop a larger solutions and products. And that would help me develop as a person and develop as a team player. So here we have tried to answer basic questions that a typical student will have to get into AR, VR or Unity development. I'm sure you will be having a lot of more questions, so feel free to ask them below and we will definitely answer those. And for internships, feel free to reach out to me. We'll be happy to work together.